I'm Marshall Lowe, doing my final project, 11.1. I'm going to be interviewing Will Lowe here, owner and operator of LZ Farms. So I guess the first question I have is your full name and some little bit of information about your everyday operation.
Well, as you said, my name is Will Lowe. We have a farm at Kyle, Saskatchewan. It's called LZ Farms. We're a mixed operation here. Cereals, pulses, and oil seeds, as well as some hayland. And then we run a cow-calf backgrouting operation as well.
Sounds good. What role do you play in your operation there?
Well, I'm the president of LZ Farms, but on our farm, which is kind of considered kind of a small to medium-sized farm, we do everything. So everything from mechanical work to seeding and spraying and feeding cows and fixing fence, a little bit of everything every day. It's different.
All right. And then kind of the next question I got for you here is, what would an employee, if you were to hire an employee or whatever, what would their hours look like on a typical day at the farm?
Really depends on the season. So springtime, when we're calving and seeding, you can have some fairly long weeks and long days on the farm. So starting April 1st or thereabouts, we start calving. So for the month of April, we're calving cows and then getting ready for seeding near the end of April, start of May. So some of those days can get pretty long. It wouldn't be out of the normal to be 60 hours plus a week in May and April, May and into June, and then things get a little bit slower. So you'd be probably a 40-hour week through June, July, and into August a little bit before we start harvest, and then weeks get long again and hours get long, and then in the winter time we're just feeding cows or hauling grain. So some of the hours per day during the winter time from November through March, or 3 to 4 hours a day, maybe a little more if we're hauling grain or moving snow. So
sounds good. What does schooling look like to work at your farming operation?
Well, I've got a 4-year agriculture degree from university. We had, someone doing mechanics or something, you'd be at a 2-year apprentice type trades program or welding or anything like that. But everything from, we have a hired man that doesn't have much more than a grade 12 education, so it's really everything from grade 12 to university. There's a lot of things that you have to know and be proficient in. So
sounds good. What kind of safety plan do you have set in place to protect an employee or yourself or anybody around who's on the farm? Or
well, we make sure any new employees that we have or have had, that we spend some time training them on equipment and making sure they know proper procedures and checking to make sure that safety guards and stuff are on equipment, and telling employees about wearing seatbelts in vehicles, and things like not speeding or distracted driving by talking on the phone while they're driving, or while they're watching an audio or something like that, and it needs attention, that we make sure that we highlight some of those things to kind of try and make sure that we don't have any accidents on our farm and around cows too, that we're teaching employees how to move around cows and be safe and keep a distance. So
that's a good answer. I guess kind of my next question is, what did you do beforehand that is helping you succeed in your farming career nowadays?
Well, there's a lot of farmers in Saskatchewan have spent countless hours with their dads growing up, and spending time with them, learning, different jobs and, like just different things, as we grow up and as we get older. And what was the second part of that question?
That helped, like, what was something that you did in your beforehand life to help you succeed in your nowadays?
And then obviously education. I mean, my university degree helped me, for marketing or working with people in relationships, trying to figure out how to, looking at prices and trying to figure out what the best prices are, informing yourself as to what the supply and demand situations look like for all your crops and your cattle, and it goes with buying your feed or your fertilizers or whatever to be able to work with your bankers and your accountants and stuff like that, so kind of what your overall business looks like, from everything from your finances to your to the day-to-day stuff on the farm.
Absolutely. Next question I got for you is kind of a more fun one. What is the best overall part in what you do on your farm? What is your best? Like, what do you like doing best?
Oh, there's like every day is different. I guess that's the thing. Probably that's the thing. Some people might say that they don't like that part of it, but every day is different. So you never know what you're doing from day to day, and the variety of work on the farm keeps you challenged, and no day is ever the same, it seems like. So it's just being able to figure out what's going on that day, and dealing with what's coming at you as it arrives or arises, I guess.
Sounds good. I guess the last question to kind of wrap things up here is that I got for you is, what opportunities can someone have in the agriculture industry?
Oh, I mean, there's all kinds. I mean, everything from banking to buying grain to buying cattle, which is what I first did before I came back to farm full time. Right out of university, worked for Cargill, buying cattle out of all three provinces here in Western Canada, and that gave me a good background in relationships with people, and dealing with financial matters and markets and all kinds of things related, and just being able to relate and work with all kinds of people, no matter what, whether it's employees or whether it's crop input, retailers or fertilizer, people selling you fertilizer, or the buyers buying your grain or your cattle, or all that kind of stuff. Everything comes down to dealing with people at some point in time. So yeah.
All right. Well, that kind of wraps the interview up here. Will, I just want to thank Will for taking some time out of his day to come and talk in my interview here, and I know that time is money, so let you, I guess, go back and keep doing what you're doing in this industry, and thanks, and I guess we'll see you later.
Thanks for having me, Marshall.
You're welcome. Bye.